Hello, I'm LeVar Jackson, and welcome to Video Editing 101. As we move more into a digital world, video has become vital to business communications and everyday life. I'll be using a powerful program that is user-friendly and free. It's called DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is a platform agnostic, meaning it'll work on Windows, Mac, and Linux. It's a great tool that can handle almost every file format I throw at it. I film on a Sigma FP, but this tutorial works for any camera, including smartphones. In my previous video, I discussed how to film. Please check that out. As we go into, of course, an untitled project, uh, just for the demonstration, of course, of this video, it's not really too hard. I'll describe what's going on here. Here's your timeline. So as you add videos, it'll tell you from how everything is laid out. We're in the cut. It opens into the cut screen, but we should definitely go to the media screen to select what we want to add in. Let's go to storage, cinema, go down. Let's see, what do we want to do? Here is the last walkthrough of what I was doing, because I think this is a very good video for me to show you guys, because there's quite a bit of color grading and lighting and changes that we need to do. Because no matter if you film, there's going to be things that we're going to have to do on the back end, even if you have, a fantastic video camera. So we're going to take this. So first, what we can do is create timeline using select bin. I prefer to go into the cut screen, right click here, and create new timeline. So the thing with the timeline is you can let it automatically adjust, but I found that the program likes to underestimate or overestimate, in fact, how what's the resolution on the video. So I know I filmed this at 4K, 24 frames per second. I went over in the previous video why 24 frames per second at 4K is a really good thing to film at. But in short, you get a cinematic look. You get something that's scalable. So when you step down the footage for like online, it's better. The higher the quality means that you can make it smaller and still look fantastic. But what you can't do is use a lower quality video and make it larger. It tends to degrade. And when you're transferring over to different services, so if you put things up on YouTube, Instagram, or even over Zoom, it compresses it. So if the video is already low quality, the compression is only going to make things so much worse. So I know I filmed at 4K, 24 frames per second. 4K is Ultra HD. So this is the resolution for that. And it's already set to 24 frames per second. Leave the pixel aspect ratio on square unless you're doing something very specific, and that'll be a much, that's not for, film 101. But I'm happy that you guys are joining me for this. So press create. So that sets everything up fine. Go back to media. You can take our video and drag it down. So it's here. This is all you have to do. We can get into clipping and cutting and doing things like that. In fact, we'll add another video for that so we can clip and cut, and I'll show you how that works. Right, so we're added a second video, and we go into cut. Everything's at 4K. You don't have to touch the timeline at all. it is there, and just leave it. If you want to do some fun things, you can, but we just leave that. So we'll drag and drop over here into the one. So this is the main line that we're doing. If you want to simultaneously overlay something, but that's not a one-on-one thing, but this is what we have. So if something here is, I don't like this part. I want it to start out here. You can clip this. So we can press this button over here that says split clips, and just press delete, and it's gone. And of course, in this mode, anything that's here is active when it comes to noise. We will later here go into far light and change that. And Fusion is not Film 101. We don't want to play with that. Edit we can, but we're going to keep it very simple right here, right now, to make sure that you can put out a very, clipped look. So if you wanted to cut this and put in questions or something like that, you can go up to here to the top, put in title, put in text, throw it between. In the edit screen, you can add words to the title. So here it's, hello everyone. So that's fine. So the text will appear between segments. If you wanted to overlay segments, you just drag it on top and drop it. But I went in between just for the format that I want. You'll also notice that the noise stops. So any sound you have going here, we can change this, but that also shortens the time that the text is on the screen. There are ways to disconnect that, but that's not Film 101. That is Film 102, I guess. And I'll come back for that, and we'll do like a sound check and fun things and equipment you would need for better sound. But okay, we'll go back to cut because we're adding. So we added that, and we'll go down, 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 down. Just swipe left or right to scroll through your program, and I think this is perfect. All right, so we can go back to, and at the top, click Media Pool, and add in our second video, because again, you can have it start right here. If you drag it down, or drag it up, you can overlay both and have that fade in and out and jump into the next clip. But I prefer jump cuts because they're just easier to deal with. This is again Film 102, but I will show you how to do jump cuts, and we're going to try to keep this video extremely short so I don't lose your attention. So as I'm going through, I see a lot of light here, right here in the back. That is blown out, and there's nothing we can do to recover that. So we're going to cut that. Delete away problems. That is my motto. So we're just going to run with this. This is going to be extremely quick and short video. You can always press the space bar or press play here. It'll play you back in real time. And this is, the time-consuming part of video production is that things play at real time because you want to be able to catch small errors or things like that. If you're playing it too fast, your eyes may actually skip over something, and you'll see something in the background, miss something in the background that you would not have seen. So there it goes. Hello, everyone. Then it goes on to this, which is, fantastic, which is, perfect. Everything's smooth and level. We will go over why. So this is dragging on for a little bit too much and showing a lot of what I've already seen. So we should cut it right here when it's flat and delete your problems away. Of course, it's going to jump back time-wise, but, we'll go back. It's a technique. The program automatically moves you backwards because it wants you to re-see what you do. So if you do anything that you find out like, oh, we'll play through and it goes, this is pretty horrible. We want to undo this, just undo it. You can press File or Edit, and it'll say Undo. And you click on Undo, it will undo the delete or whatever action you just did. And if you're on the fence of doing something or undoing something, you can easily just press Undo or Redo and change and see the difference. It's a really good tool for editing really quickly, and it will do that. So here it is. I don't like the beginning because a technique is if you're going to come in low, it has to start low. It can't start high then low. It's really bad filmmaking, but that's part of recording something, is that you're going to film a lot of things you're going to cut out, and don't be afraid to cut those things out. So we're at level. You'll see, the brightness is coming in for the right. We can't do anything about that. They're large windows, and we can balance. So we saw someone in the background. We could completely cut him out. Yes. So we could end this right here, and you can't see him in the background. He's not as noticeable as, meaningful, but we'll cut him out because I don't want to see him. So goodbye, delete away your problems. Wish life worked like that, but that's not how things work. Okay, so say we're done. This is the video. We're done. We can move into edit, of course, change things here. If you have a music track you want to add, so I added quite a bit of music tracks, go back to media. Then you can I'll go through my files here. I have movie music tracks I've made. So we will go through this. This is a familiar one I made. It's a little cool, jazzy music. Let's see. This one's kind of sad, but whatever. We will throw that in here. So we'll add it to the movie pool. Go back to cut. And you will see, of course, here that because when I moved this one up, it created a second track. Throw this in this track. Oh no, it didn't do it. You're being sassy today. We'll do it in the edit scene. So here it says audio 2. We will take, no, let's go backwards. I will add an audio track below. So then this is A1. This is for video. This is for audio. I had mistakenly done that, but you make mistakes, and sometimes even if you know what you're doing, there's an issue going on. So you can press play, of course, and you hear it in the background of my mic. It'll start playing the music, and now you have a track. And as you skim through quickly, the music will play how it's supposed to play. And you can just keep adding. Let me mute this so you don't have to keep hearing that. We will keep adding. So here it's too long for the video, actually. So what we'll do is we'll line this up ever so perfectly. Perfect. Then we'll crop and delete your problems away. Now when the video ends, the music does as well. Timed perfectly. So we'll go into video editing. This is where the fun things begin. We're not going to do the complicated skin things and all the other stuff here. We're going to keep it super simple. So what we're going to do is right-click, show scopes. These two scopes are the only ones you care about. This one, the vector scope, and the waveform. So the waveform is where are your highs and where are your lows. We'll start at the first one. So you see this not bright at all. Everything is down and low, and this actually shows you where the colors are when it comes to in terms of brightness. This is luminosity. So 1,000 lumens is much brighter than 0 lumens, and so on. So we're going to take this. This controls the upper end of the lumens here. So it'll control here. It'll bring things up and make the photo, the gain will make things much brighter. So you see how it brings up the highs really high. So what you don't want to do is bring this all the way to the top because it's going to blow it out. So See how there's color noise, it looks gross, it doesn't look natural. We don't need that here. So what we'll do is we'll tune this down just a bit. That looks good. Gamma is the mid. It'll make this a bit brighter without distorting it. Actually, I'm going to take that down just a little bit more because it looks unnaturally bright. So it makes the midtones brighter. So you see how it made it a little bit brighter. There's still a bit of noise. I actually will bring this down a little bit because it's becoming artificially too bright. Lift is the dark stuff. It's here, here, and here will definitely change. So it's at the bottom here. See how it becomes much grayer? We don't want that. So we will leave it like this. So what we can do to counteract some of the things, the grayness, what we'll do is click over to 2. It'll say mid, color boost, shadow at the bottom, and highlights. We can raise and lower the shadows. We'll tune up a little bit. We'll take down the highlights because some of the things in the background are a little bit too bright. But it's not too bad at all. So we'll make this mids are its clarity, its definition, and it helps battle out the noise that's here. So we'll take that up a bit, and you can see here on the ground, you see how it goes from fuzzy to not fuzzy and defined. So watch that here, and since I film with as little color boost on as possible, the things look kind of drab. So you can throw up the color boost just a little bit to give that richness of what it is. And as you're doing this stuff, you can play through the clip and see how that works. And we can see how this looks now compared to how it looked before. Perfect. The colors are looking fantastic. Alrighty. So we'll keep going on to past this hello everyone. And you see the huge difference between this at the end and the brightness and the colors compared to the split part of the clip that's dark. And you can, of course, if these are two identical clips, there's a trick for this. So you don't have to keep doing this again. You're going to click on this, right click, click on grab stills. So now it basically copied all the adjustments that I did. So again, look at the end of this, how bright that is. Of course, there's a bit of brightness in the background, but we'll have to deal with this in the shot. The shot is the way it's filmed, and we can't do anything about that. So what we're going to do is we want to bring the second clip just like this, and because it copied all of the settings, we don't have to do that again. So this is it. Now what you do is you'll click on the actual part of that timeline. Right click. We're not going to grab stills because there's nothing to do. What we're going to do here is actually right click on this image here, which is the copy of the settings. And we're going to right click and click on apply grade. Now it looks exactly how it did at the end of the other clip. See, there is no difference. Well, you can also close this out because we're not going to do that right now. Look how bright and powerful that is. We can't do much about this overblown part, but sometimes you have to deal with the way things are and the way things are shot. Moving on to the final part of the clip. We could go through. Don't use this apply stills because the lighting here is completely different than the lighting in this clip, and the light source is completely different. Don't do that. It will end up with a horrible thing. So we're going to go back to click on one, right click, show scopes. We will move this back over. We're okay with losing some of this here, and we're just going to bring this up. So we're going to add gain a bit to bring in a little bit of brightness. We don't need to bring much brightness. to the top end of the highlights, we need the mids to go up because that's the part that we need to see. We can barely see the floor. We can lift it just a little bit, and it adds, it takes away a little bit of the contrast. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and add back in contrast with the mids so that we can see. So we can just left click, and then we're going to like move the mouse to the right. This is too much. We will stay at like 20, I think. And then we're going to add the color boost because, again, I film without the camera adding any color boost to anything it sees because this is filmed in RAW, so I can manipulate the colors better. And we're going to make it human again. This is a little bit too much because it's a little bit too much yellow. So we'll go down to about 30. We can bring up the shadows because we can't see the flooring all that well, but not too much because it adds noise. We're going to take down the highlights just a little bit to make it a little bit less harsh. And okay, so this is what we're going to do here. And we can press play. Okay, so this is super quick, but this is a huge change from what it was before. So again, we're going to play through it. Look how rich the colors are. Look at, you can see the textures as well. The lighting, of course, this is, a tougher environment to film in because there's a lot of bright light and contrasted by indoor lighting. But this is the filming video. This is a video editing video, so I'll go over that. I went over that already. Again, always play it at real time to see what you need done. So again, make sure everything looks right. The contrast here is bugging me. So I'm going to take back down the lift because it makes it look a little bit artificial. It takes away the contrast. So this is how your eye would naturally see. So there would be natural shadows. There would be darker lines when there's something blocking, obscuring light. You don't want to get rid of that because it looks cartoonish and unreal. All right, so we're done with that. Far light is what we'll use when it comes to audio. So if, for instance, this is a walkthrough, part of the walkthrough, I don't need to hear my footsteps. I can go in and just mute the whole entire line, and everything and all the clips are quiet, and we only hear the music, which is kind of what we want at that point. We, of course, A1 is, of course, this. I skipped A2 for some reason. It labeled A3, but I can fix that. I can just drag this up to A2. And, there are certain settings, and we'll do a different audio part of this video to keep things short because you can change things. You can add voiceover. When I'm going to do this video, true and, free and true, I am going to have to do this. So what we're going to do, and of course, if you have an internal mic that you're doing, so this is the screen, you could do the voiceover. I'm using a shotgun mic, which is, of course, better for, audio. We can, of course, tune here how the gain on things to make things much louder, make things quieter. There are programs that you can add that denoiser if there's noise in the background. We'll go over how to do that in a different video because that is, something. But we'll do video editing 101. We'll save that for, audio editing 101. And okay, so we're going to skip over that. And we are going to go to deliver. So this is the point in which your computer starts to convert this into a program, like a movie that you can play for everyone. So we'll do test video 101. All right, so I have these settings here. You can leave it as QuickTime. H2.64 is perfect. I know that I filmed at 4K, 24 frames per second, and it's okay to leave it there. The problem is if I filmed at 720p or, regular HD, which is, 1280 by 720. Well, that's 720p. This is normal what HD is. So HD is 19 by 20 and 10 by 80 HD. So if I filmed here, I cannot make it better and output to, Ultra HD, which is 4K. don't do that. You can go down because you're cutting some of the quality, but the quality is already high. The quality here is cut, and you're trying to make the quality better and larger, and it destroys the look of everything. Don't go up. Go down is fine. Going up is not. Leave everything to automatic because it's user friendly. You can just leave it there. You can press add to render queue. I have my destination is in my movies file. It's perfect. We're gonna save that, and then we're gonna start to render. I have a fairly fast computer, so it's only gonna take like 10 or a couple of seconds, half a minute. But this may take longer for you if you're on a laptop or you have an older computer. But this is fine. Let it do its thing. Grab a cup of coffee and come back, and let it go through its thing. So, and that's it. And this is the end of our tutorial. Thank you for joining me. I try to keep it as short as possible, but please, join us for our next one. And I hope this was helpful and useful to everyone. Thank you, and goodbye.